Hello, welcome to Garden Chronicles. I'm James David, and in today's video, I'll be talking about this tropical plant commonly known as Hawaiian hibiscus. Here, I will be sharing some pointers and experience on how to cultivate this hibiscus. So sit back and enjoy the show. Commonly known as Hawaiian hibiscus, however, these are not true native of the Hawaiian species. Rather, this is very much a dwarf version of more of a showy floral cultivar in this hybrid. I must say that there is a little bit of a confusion here, especially when vendors and plant sales personnel just randomly identify it as Hawaiian hibiscus, and this name has stuck for this particular plant. These may not look like the common tall hardwood version. However, eventually these need to be acclimatized in your garden condition if these were cultivated in a lowland, hot and humid regions. Hence, do take note and be cautioned not to introduce these plants to direct hot sun immediately, as it may cause the flowers to have burns and shock on them. I must say that this draw version may not remain in this form for a very long time. Eventually, the plant will somehow adjust to become a normal hibiscus plant, where it will start to reset itself and grow like a common hibiscus plant. However, the flowers may look more vibrant and bigger. I must say that there are some factors that need to be concerned about, that these are actually planted on a highland areas, and therefore it is very much adjusted to a temperate climate zone. Hence, also the other factor here is that the growing condition need to be gradually introduced, hence not to create a shock that may cause the flowers and the leaf to bud drop and leaf drop. Another element that I want to make an emphasis is when they are actually planted in bulk, especially in nurseries in the highland area. They will often use the cocoa peat as their medium for planting. It is actually very good for the initial stage, where it helps and aids for the root development. However, the problem occurs that as when the plant matures, the cocoa peat seems to become having a reverse effect on them. Hence, you may have to change the potting medium to a regular potting soil, which helps them to transition from the new rooting medium to a matured plant. As you can see here in this video, I'm actually showcasing to you what are the available hibiscus that are sold here in the common local nurseries here. One of the factors that I must say here is that these plants are immediately taken off from the racks, as these are like hotcakes, and they may not be available once they are introduced. And I would say roughly about 1 to 2 weeks time, and anybody who actually sees it will just take it immediately. So this is considered something like a hot cake item. These are the few of the unique features. When I look at it, the bud seems to be small and the flowers seems to be very big in comparison to most of the common hibiscus. Often I will advise anybody before purchasing to check through carefully the health condition of the plant, to just double check whether they are infested with mealybugs or any other infestation. Also check whether the plant is actually healthy and robust, and chances are that if they are actually overwatered, root rot and stem rot may occur, and this can be detrimental, and it will take a longer time for the plant to recover. Another unique feature about this particular hibiscus is that you will find that the flower buds appears at the top crown of this hibiscus. Rather, the common hibiscus, you will find that the flower buds appearing at the side of the stem. So this is one of the things that I've noticed, which is make this particular type of breed of Hawaiian hibiscus something to be highly sought after. Another unique feature here which I've noticed is that the sepal here appears to have a double fold here. So these are the small things that you can actually notice and to be considered about. Another factor here is that I also find that the flowers seems to be a little bit more firm and sturdy, and it has a darker colorization at the central part of it. Also the stamen seems to be shorter. So these are the few things which I've noticed, which is very different from the common hibiscus plant. Now, among the colors that I've noticed about this particular hibiscus, these are the ones that commonly available, which I find sold in most of the nurseries here. When they arrive, they will not last more than a month, where all this will be sold off immediately. There is another version which is very much having the bluish purple with orange tones together with it. Those are a little bit more rarer and difficult to find. If you can see over here, this is the telltale sign of the flower being stressed and actually exposed to direct hot sun and is actually burnt. So this is one of the things that you should be careful of and be aware of, that these things can happen to a plant when they are stressed. Now I want to come to a part where it's very important when it comes to pest control. I find that this particular cultivar hybrid is not hardy when it comes to pest attack, especially mealybugs. Mealybugs seems to love them. It's sort of like a magnet, and the whole plant can be covered fully by it. And the worst case scenario is that ants can be a culprit, where they will actually farm on them. Another pest would be scale insect, and both of them can be extremely harmful for this particular plant, because eventually the plant can die out of stress. Also, do take note that mealybugs can also infect them through even into the root structure, so they can be hiding inside of it, and they can make a comeback even after a slight pesticide management. So do take note that if your garden does have mealybugs and ants, it is going to be a magnet for this particular plant. So do a regular pest control regimen on this particular plant, inclusive of the roots, as it can be detrimental and the plant can die easily with this heavy infestation. So the emphasis here is that once after purchasing this plant, and when it roughly will take about 3 weeks for it to acclimatize to the lowland hot and humid climate, and once the plant has established itself, do introduce slowly to the open sun and rain environment, because this particular hibiscus plants will not bloom in shaded area. In most cases, if they are cultivated in a very dark shaded areas, the leaves may turn yellow and may have bud drop, flower drop, and even leaf drop. So these are actually sun lovers, and they may need to have good sunlight for it to bloom. When it comes to the flowers, these blooms in the morning and last for the whole day before it fades. Another flower bud blooms and takes its place in the next day. Also, do take note that the hibiscus petals can be considered as edibles, where you can actually use them as for salads. In some traditional medicines, the leaves were also used for some herbal remedies. Another factor that need to be mentioned is that hibiscus is a very good, strong, salt tolerant plant. Hence, if you're staying by the seaside or coastal area, you may want to consider hibiscus as your landscape plants. I have now come to the end of my video. If you have any questions, do put them in a comment below, and I'll try my best to answer them in my best ability as possible. If it's possible, do please click like and subscribe my channel. Thank you and have a nice day, and see you in my next video. Take care and bye.